Hey guys, welcome back to our One Piece podcast. This week we're covering chapter 1021. I thought this chapter was pretty good, especially for Robin fanboys, which we may have one here. Question
All the
mark?
Yeah,
Robin fanboys got hard-ons after this chapter.
Oh yeah, Kyle, can you confirm?
I can confirm I am fully erect, and I have been since the chapter came out.
I think you're supposed to see a doctor about that, but yeah, this chapter's I liked it because I don't know, it's a nice thing. We haven't seen Robin fight in Skypiea pretty much, and even that was kind of eh. So
Yeah.
this is nice. Um, I guess we'll start at the beginning with the cover story, which is probably my favorite cover story in a while, just because something long foretold was the reunion of Frankie and Mr. Pink, Senior Pink,
These
sorry.
absolutely. These
And
these guys are meant to be having drinks at the bar together.
oh yeah, they're drinking the martinis.
Right, and then for being hard boiled, like I think that's the opposite drink I would think of.
I don't know
Yeah,
though,
I'm
You
like
got
thinking
little
maybe drinking like
martini
Manhattans
glasses
or
with
old
the
fashioned.
I feel like it kind of
yeah.
fits with the Mr. Pink or the Senior Pink whole thing though, because he's like the hard-boiled guy with the baby costume on. So you gotta choose something that doesn't quite fit the profile, you know?
I suppose.
And then yeah, obviously Senior Pink in this scenario would be the one ordering the drink, so he's got to order two of something.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of the like classic skull and the swords going.
Oh yeah,
Like the
yeah,
classic pirate thing in the
yeah, yeah.
background. Yeah,
They also got the looks like they got a little cheese and crackers plate.
Mm-hmm.
yummy.
Nuts. Looks good.
Yeah. So yeah, this whole chapter is about the fight. Uh, what did you guys think of like just the fight structure as a whole? It was like I mean it's a one chapter fight, so I wasn't expecting anything too complicated. It's not like any of the you really don't get those really super crazy complex fights unless you're talking with like Luffy or maybe Zoro, I guess. But um, I don't know. It's yeah, like I said, it's a one chapter fight, so I wasn't expecting anything too complex. We do get to see some cool stuff, but what do you guys think of the fight as a whole, like structure wise, I guess?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty good. There was definitely I feel like most of the fight was basically just like Maria kind of wailing on Robin, Robin either tanking the hits or like avoiding them. I liked when she did her little like when she like poofed away with her like shadow clone kind of.
Yeah.
Um, she like turned into like a bunch of flowers and stuff. I thought that was really cool. Um, Also, I think it's pretty interesting that like pretty noteworthy that that Maria was able. She was using her. She was when she like punched Robin with her like brass knuckles, her Oiran knuckles. Um,
Hmm.
she hit Sanji with the same attack, and Sanji was knocked out, but Robin is not knocked out. So does this mean that Robin can take stronger hits than Sanji? I don't know, but that seems to be what the chapter is implying.
Yeah, that's her hitting Robin's creation though, right? That's not her hitting Robin directly. Looks like it is because her
It's
shoulders aren't covered.
unclear.
I mean, her
It's
shoulders
kind of
aren't covered in the panel, and her shoulders are covered in her actual form, so it looks like that's her clone. Plus, she's talking about a satisfyingly large punching bag, so
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I think that the well, it's established in the chapter, which I didn't really think was like the case with Robin's powers, but like pretty early on when like Robin does her like what she called like her sea serpent attack where she has like a bunch of like wiggly arms that she like uses to kind of try to grab Black Maria. And like Black Maria like cuts one with her thing. Um and then she says, "Oh, so your real body gets injured too?" Because we cut to like a panel of like Robin's real body with her arms crossed, and like there's some blood kind of coming out from the side of the panel.
Yeah.
So I didn't really think that was the case. I thought it was that like she could kind of just poof her body and like make a clone of her or like make a copy of one of her limbs, and then like if it got hurt, it wouldn't matter. But I guess we're establishing that that is the case, and that she does get hurt. But maybe it's like less so.
yeah, that's what
I
I was
guess
thinking.
And well,
yeah.
this is the first time we've seen this out of her power. Like, I feel like this is something we should have known long before.
Yeah, I was actually curious about that because like that seems like something. I'm curious, like if somebody's gonna have gone back and checked if Robin, like her hands have gotten hurt in some way before,
Mm-hmm.
because like this is the first time this has been established, and I feel like that's got to have happened at some point. But I don't know. Maybe it
Maybe.
just hasn't. Like we mentioned at the beginning, she hasn't been in a fight since Skypiea, so it's not like we've really gotten
Yeah.
a good chance to see that. Um,
Yeah. And also Oda kind of famously doesn't really like to draw his female characters getting hurt. I think this chapter is like a great exception to that. But it's been a while since we've seen like a fight this brutal with like one of the female crew members.
yeah,
Like Nami's had more action, but her fights are not like brutal like this. It's not Nami getting a beat down. Like even earlier on in this arc, when we had like Nami fighting Ulti, they like it was kind of implied that she got headbutted, but it was never shown like it was
yeah.
with Usopp.
He literally shows Usopp's skull getting cracked,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
And
oh,
I can't
Nami, you
imagine him
also
doing that
got
with
hit.
Nami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Like
what
it
you
was
mean.
just cut away. And I actually think that moment would have had a lot more impact because that was like apparently like right before she was like Luffy's gonna be the Pirate King and she couldn't lie about it. Um, but like, whatever. Oda just doesn't like to draw his women getting hurt
Yeah.
unless they're like ugly women, I guess.
I do
But
think
like
it was definitely more brutal than your normal Nami fight, because normal Nami fights, I mean, just in general, they're usually just Nami lightning striking somebody and her
yeah.
getting hit with something,
Well,
but it's
she
not.
had some brutal fights at the beginning. Like her fight against Miss Doublefinger in Alabasta was pretty brutal. Like she was getting like impaled and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but like since then, I guess there was the one with like Khalifa, but I mean, she was probably like
that
she got
was
kicked a couple times, I
brutal
think, but that
though.
was not as brutal as the
Yeah, it's hard.
Doublefinger fight.
It's hard to be
Yeah.
brutal against someone with like bubble soap powder powers.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
But
yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
would say this one was definitely very brutal, and I think Robin's had a track record of kind of brutally beating down her opponents. Like she doesn't have fights; it's usually just her either not fighting or
Well,
brutally just one-shotting somebody
Yeah, usually it's like choking them out or like snapping their necks.
or breaking their back. I think she did to
right.
one
And
person.
well, here to answer your original question of what do you think of this fight overall, I think in general, Robin fights. I always got to bring in the cons for the Robin. Uh, but I mean, she's always about the one hit KOs. It's not like she's damaging Black Maria here and there. It's always I'm gonna crack your neck or I'm gonna crack your spine. Otherwise, that's all I got.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I kind of
that's
like
fair.
that. It's a different dynamic than you get from the other crew members. Like, you don't whittle down your opponents. It's you just brute force, like you said, breaking their spine. Like, that's just how she
Yeah,
fights, and that's how she's learned to fight. And, like, I like that. It's a very unique dynamic for her, and it's something,
yeah.
like, we don't get to see a whole lot of. And that does have the
It's
drawback
not
of,
like her enemy is getting wounded here and there.
yeah,
It's her
It's
enemy
not chip
is
damage. Yeah,
always, full force, and it's either all in or nothing.
yeah, but that's
yeah,
such a weird thing compared to everyone else because it's hard to gauge her strength then because, well, she's getting her ass beat for most of this chapter, but then she just boom one shots Black Maria. It's like, okay, how strong are you really?
Right.
yeah. Well, and it actually kind of makes sense because like all of the attacks that she tries to get in near the beginning when she's like stretching her arms and stuff, it's like she's trying to get a hold of Black Maria, which is like obviously necessary for her like one hit KO kind of fighting style where she just sort of
Yeah.
like snaps them or grapples them to the ground or something.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think it definitely makes sense. And then it becomes kind of as the fight goes on, it becomes more about getting out of the onslaught from Black Maria. And I think that's what makes it like a good matchup for Robin is that it's against like someone who's really big. So it's like, we've seen Robin do big limbs since like the beginning of the time skip. So
Hmm.
it makes sense that like she's it's more of a tough fight for her against someone who's big where she has to use all of her big limb attacks, which I assume take more energy because they have to like use a bunch of little limbs or whatever
Yeah. Her
to
her
to get
her
that.
power reminded me of the thousand arm bodhisattva that Netero uses in Hunter x Hunter, but except it's a lot
Yeah,
sexier than that,
yeah,
but also a lot less powerful. It's kind of like
yeah, definitely.
the admiral, ex-fleet admiral's power. He had the bodhisattva as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it was very cool. And then What do you guys think of Black Maria overall? I thought she was cool and like kind of funny in a way. Like the fact that she had the staff and she's got the spider power, but in the middle of the fight, she's just like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually a bare knuckle brawler," and she just takes out a pair of fucking brass knuckles.
Yeah,
And then she also just has all of her attack names just Maria Blank. It's so I don't know. I was laughing at that.
Yeah, maybe she's kind of self-absorbed. I kind of get that from her attack names.
It's only yeah. Usually it's like a I don't know. It's usually like a Japanese name or something, or like a Spanish name or something like
Or
that.
yeah, it
French
has
name.
some sort of theme.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
hers is just Maria Kindling or Maria Knuckles or whatever.
Hmm.
I think Maria is honestly one of my favorite Kaido soldiers.
The
Like
Toby Roppo.
she's got it all. Like she's got the mirages, she's got the spider webs, she's got the fire with her little
The pug,
weapon, whatever that
the
is.
pug
She's got
fruit
the
guy. Yeah.
poison on her spider part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
also
flexible.
the spider was breathing fire too, like to catch the
Right,
webs
yeah.
on fire. I wonder
Yeah.
if that's like a thing that real like I doubt there's like a real spider that can like breathe fire
Oh,
or
I doubt
something.
it, yeah.
The spider
But like,
that her fruit
yeah, I
is
wonder
like
where
an
that comes
ancient
from.
spider. It's really weird.
Oh, is it?
When they were first talking about like what all the fruits were for the Toby Roppo, the name I had to look up what her fruit was because like it was like Pachycephalosaurus fruit, pterodactyl fruit, and it was like all these dinosaurs. And then it got to hers, and I was like, what the fuck does that? And I looked it up, and it
Oh.
was like an ancient insect, which I don't think could breathe fire, but still
Yeah, I bet that they just did that to keep it like in line with like the fact that all of the other Toby Roppo have like
ancient fruits. Yeah,
ancient
yeah,
devil fruits.
yeah.
So
Triceratops.
it was probably just like Odo wanted a spider and then he's like, okay, I just need to find an ancient spider. I'm sure there's one extinct spider or
And also when you
something.
get back then, uh, insects were a lot bigger, which kind of makes sense why hers is fucking massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't I maybe this is her hybrid form because like she's not actually a spider. Like this is almost more like a smile kind of thing,
Yeah,
where it's like
definitely.
there's like an animal and then your body's coming out of it, but it's definitely not a smile. Like it said that it was just a devil fruit. So maybe this is her hybrid form. I don't know. Have we seen any other form from her besides her humanoid form? I don't think so.
No, we have not. Which means I don't think it will, but
Yeah, I know. I don't
actually
think
I'm
we will either. We
pretty
definitely don't see like all three forms for
it's
every zone
it seems pretty
encounter.
definitive the fight's over, so I don't think we'll be seeing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
her fruit is the Rosa mygale is the type of genus of spider. It's in the Triassic period, so an ancient spider.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maria was cool. She wasn't like anything crazy. Just there was not that much time spent on Maria. Um, but I don't know. I like her design. I like that she's a
Yeah.
spider. I like the big.
She's all about the chaos too, which I appreciate too. She's not she's not too concerned about like, oh, the Kaido side or whatever. No, she's trying to burn the place down.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah,
I kind
I
of
do
liked
respect that.
how I kind of liked how evil she seemed a bit more evil than the other people we've gotten up against.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
With the one thing I still don't understand about Maria though was it her devil fruit that was doing, or like her power that was doing the illusions from last chapter? Because I really don't see how that like connects with like
I
a spider.
I didn't think so. I thought that was one of her other people doing it.
Okay,
That's
I
the
guess
vibe
I
that I
that would
got.
make
I
more
thought
sense.
that was her.
Yeah, I don't know how she would have done that.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like related to spiders. I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess it kind of like
Um,
because it's like trickery, but I don't know. Maybe there's like a Japanese thing that's going on where like spiders are associated with illusions or something in like
Yeah.
Japanese mythology. I don't know. I
I don't know.
didn't
I swear
do any
last
research in
chapter
that.
she was like, "Oh, my mirages didn't fool you or something."
Hmm. I have to
Maybe,
go back and
maybe.
check, but
I don't know.
I liked the
Either way, the mirages weren't anything special.
yeah, they didn't end up mattering too much.
Yeah.
I did like the single panel we got of Brook in the middle, where he's like he kind of keeps with his promise. I mean, you do get to see Brook fighting at the end, but he kind of keeps with his promise, like, yeah, you can handle Black Maria. He's just kind of sends a quip to Black Maria in the middle. It's like, if I were
Yeah,
you, I'd
yeah,
make myself scarce. Yo, or I'd be running
yeah.
for
No,
my life, whatever
I
the
love that.
translation is. It was just like a
Yeah,
random quip in the middle of the fight.
I'm glad that this did end up being an actual one-on-one fight and not like a Robin and Brooke team fight.
Hmm.
Like I wouldn't have been the most upset if that happened because I like both Robin and I like Brooke. But I mean, we've had Brooke one-on-ones. We haven't really had any Robin one-on-ones, so I'm glad that Oda took the opportunity to actually give Robin the full spotlight here.
Yeah.
At
And
the same time, I'd be really disappointed if this is all we get from Brooke.
yeah, I also
Me
agree with
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still holding out hope for Brooke versus Apu because I think that would be a really cool like music and sound themed fight. I think that
Yeah.
could be sick.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
But also I'm kind of afraid because maybe Oda will be like, oh no, Apu's too like important to just give to Brooke.
yeah.
Um,
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
he's
We'll
kind of
see.
played Apu to be like a almost a slapstick character.
That's true, but he also is a supernova, which, is kind of a
He
Yeah.
big
got he
deal.
got one shot by Zoro.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean he's
Zoro's
definitely
pretty
not as good
strong.
as Zoro. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then yeah, so we get Robin's. She gets a devil form. She learns the devil was Dragon's Claw from Sabo and
Hopefully, she learned the
No, no, I don't
fishman
think she
karate.
Yeah, yeah, she didn't learn the Dragon's Claw, but she did
oh, it
learn
was a palm
the
strike.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're basically saying that like all of those other times, like that she used like the palm strike, it was actually Fishman karate the whole time.
Holy
Uh,
shit.
which I don't know, like I guess it kind of makes sense because I think we'd only seen her do that since the time skip. Like the one that it's showing, and like there's one panel where it's like kind of like a flashback panel where it shows she's using it on the ship on the Thousand Sunny underwater when they're getting to Fishman Island to like bounce off them like a cliffside or something underwater. Um, but like, you know, I don't really. It's not like there's been a ton of times where she's used this because Robin doesn't have any fights. So
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. But
it is
just another reason to ship Robin and Jimbei.
Oh yeah.
no, no. I
Big
really don't
time.
understand. This is just a good Robin chapter. I don't know why we have to bring
She's
Jinbei into
looking
this.
for some
Well,
extra
because she's
lessons.
got the fishman karate in this chapter. That's why.
They didn't mention Jinbei a single time in this chapter, and you guys have to go ruin the
What other
chapter.
person do we know that's the master of fishman karate?
That one guy on Arlong's crew, uh,
Yeah, that guy. We've seen him
Yeah.
pretty recently, right? Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Oh, someone else is a straw hat.
or or Hack, who's literally in the chapter. Hack, who actually is the one teaching her.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't really understand why like Robin needs to know Fishman karate because it's kind of like a redundancy on the crew. Like we already have Jinbei who knows Fishman karate, and also Fishman karate is not even really what enables her to win the fight.
Yeah,
She
no.
just
No,
does.
I was
no, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
I was also very curious at his use of Fishman karate here because it just seemed kind of out of place. Like,
Yes,
why
it
not
yeah,
does.
have her learn this Dragon Claw technique that gets mentioned? Like, that's something unique. Why have it be Fishman karate that, like you said, it's not even like the main part of the fight. She just uses it to break the ceiling, and then
yeah.
she goes into her.
And
Uh,
it didn't even need to be explained because like we wouldn't have been like, whoa, what is that technique that Robin used? Because she's used it
yeah,
before,
exactly.
and it
Yeah,
didn't it,
yep.
it didn't need a name. It didn't need like a technique, like a school associated with it. It just needed like it was just like, oh, this is just a useful thing that Robin can do with her powers in this moment, so she's doing it. And if she did it again, I don't think anyone would have been like thought it was weird.
If Robin had just palm strike the ceiling, I would not have thought twice about it.
No, no one would have batted twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I yeah, that was probably my biggest like eyebrow raise of the chapter. I was like, that kind of seemed like I thought it was building to something. I thought it was like,
I
oh,
think they're
Robin's using
clearly
this.
setting up something between Robin and Jimbei.
No,
I think
no.
I do think it could actually be I'm not a legit ship,
Like
but like
she's gonna learn some more fishman karate
yeah,
from
I
him.
do think they might be setting up Jinbei to be teaching her either her or somebody else on the crew Fishman karate because she could her being like some kind of conversation starter be like oh yeah I know a couple of moves of Fishman karate I could teach somebody else that they introduce or maybe somebody else on the crew that exists maybe Luffy wants to learn Fishman karate because like he's all about the bare knuckle brawling as well so him learning that from Jinbei or maybe even Robin maybe somehow this technique this palm strike Jinbei doesn't know even though I think we've seen him do palm strikes before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Um,
feel like it's such like to name drop Fisherman Karate like that and not have it be that useful. I feel like it's got to play into something in the future.
It's got to come back.
Yeah, I would actually be okay with it if it was like literally like Jinbei is teaching Robin how to do more fishman karate so she can have more fights later. Like I'm totally down for that. Anything that gives me more Robin fights is fine.
Yeah.
And like also then we'd finally be able to say, look, all of these Robin and Jinbei moments that we've had, they weren't just like, oh, it's
He's
shipping bait. It's
acknowledged the Robin
actually just
Jinbei
setting
moments.
up. It's
Yeah.
set no, it would be they have a practical use. They're setting up for Robin's fights and for Robin learning Fishman karate and being stronger, and I'd be okay with that. As long as it would put all of the people saying, "Oh, Robin and Jinbei are gonna fuck at the end of the series." It's not gonna happen. It's just for fighting. That's
I've
all
got
that's all
I've
that it
got
is.
I
Kyle.
think it is just. I think it is just for fighting, just because Oda is really uh, protective of these crewmates. Like,
Oh yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think
there is no indication whatsoever that anyone is interested in anyone besides, I guess, Sanji. But that's just because he's a perv overall.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't yeah, that's not something that Oda does. So I think it'd be
No.
100% 100% for future fighting, but I do have Kyle on recording officially acknowledging that they have had moments together.
Okay, yes, they've had moments.
They've
There's the
had
infamous
moments.
one. There's the one where it's like the one that actually makes me roll my eyes every time I think about
You're
it,
the
where
mature
like
one here, finally.
no, that's not even the one that I'm thinking about. Where it's like Jinbei is like telling her to do something on Fishman Island, and she's like, "Oh, how could I turn down a request from such a handsome
Oh
man?" or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the context is that like Sanji was there, and she's kind of just doing it to piss off Sanji, if
Yeah.
I remember correctly. But like, oh man, yeah, whatever. Fuck Jinbei. I love Robin, and that's how it's gonna stay.
But yeah,
But
Robin wins the fight with her Demonio Fleur, which is super cool, and
yes,
is a bit. I mean, I think they will explain it. It looks like it's probably hockey because it is black color coded.
It's all black. Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem color coded with the black, so it seems like it will be hockey related. Um, but
I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical that it's hockey. I kind of think that like it's probably just like the shading, and it's like, oh, like we're making Robin look really dark because she's a demon. Um, I don't know if it's like hockey because
it does look it does look lighter than the usual color coding of hockey, especially the big frame, the
yeah,
Jan
I don't
Grand
know.
Jacuzzi Clutch or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Also, like I don't know. It's hard to tell, obviously, just because it's like we're just looking at panels of a black and white manga.
Yeah.
But I kind of get the impression that like hockey usually is like shinier than this. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I would
I
say
We'll
that like
see in
I don't
the
want to
anime
jump the
at
gun.
least.
Yeah, we will definitely see in the anime. It'll be a lot more clear in the anime.
well, that'll
But
be a
Yeah.
while from now though.
I
I
am
think by the
yeah, it'll
time
be
it comes in the anime, we will know probably because that's they're literally just getting. I think they just had the episode with
they're not even on the
the
rooftop yet,
red
I don't
bean
think.
soup that
Well,
Luffy
I
spills and
mean,
then
I mean,
punches somebody
Oda's
and stuff.
very unclear about what's hockey and what's shading in general. Like even with Zoro, we've had what clearly is hockey, but it's not like explicitly said this is hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently
I
they.
think it's a little different with Zoro though, because it's been established that Zoro uses hockey. And
Yeah.
like I think that like we now since like the time skip, we've seen like it's kind of was assumed after the time skip that like okay, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji are all hockey users at this point. I'm pretty sure there was actually even an SBS where someone asked like who can use hockey, and it
Yeah.
was like right after the time skip, and he explicitly said Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, and then he also said like their specialties are Luffy's specialty is like Conqueror's hockey, Zoro's is armament, Sanji's is observation. Um, and like since then, I don't think that we've seen any other crew members use hockey except for Usopp, who used observation hockey on Dressrosa. But that was like a lot more like they it was known, like they like it pretty much said it, like it was confirmed in the manga that like
Yeah.
yes, observation hockey. Whereas
Yeah.
like this, I would say is like I would not consider this a confirmation. It could be hockey, but I kind of would be surprised if it was just because like out of all of the straw hats to give like the next like to be the next straw hat to develop hockey, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical that he would give it to Robin, unless he like has big plans for Robin to be like an actual fighter in the future. But based on her past performance, I would not say that that's like, gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, I think definitely hedge your bets until it's officially acknowledged as
Hmm.
hockey, either in an SBS or in
Yeah,
um, a later
I'd love to be
chapter.
proven wrong,
I do think it
but
will
I'm
If,
just
be
if if
explained.
anyone else besides the Monster Trio were to have hockey, it would be either
Wait,
Jinbei or
well, I think
uh,
Jinbei has to
wait,
have
yeah. Does
hockey.
Jinbei not have hockey? I feel like he's definitely got hockey.
I think he does,
He's
because I
he's
mean,
he's
like,
he was a
he's
he was
gotta.
yeah he was a
yeah,
Chichibukai. He's definitely got hockey.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it
I'm trying to
becomes
think of
even messier when you
who
talk
else
about
next.
characters that were like introduced before hockey was a thing. Like, because like I guess Jinbei was being introduced right around the time that hockey was being introduced, but
Yeah.
um,
I'm trying to
you'd
think of
like
who
to
after
believe that
Usopp would
all
it
of
be though, because it
uh
wouldn't be Chopper and it wouldn't be Nami. I know that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Frankie
um,
doesn't really do that.
Yeah,
Frankie
He's got
doesn't need it.
the science behind it all, you
yeah.
know.
Frankie having
Yeah,
hockey would be kind of lame.
yeah. Like if Frankie had armament, it'd be like why? Like he already has literal armor. Like that doesn't make
Right.
sense.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like yeah, I guess it's kind of weird. I don't know. This is why I really do like just kind of like not like hockey because it feels like so like grafted onto One Piece after the fact. Like I feel like if like there were if One Piece was written with hockey in mind from the beginning, we would have had like clearer paths for the Straw Hats to develop hockey.
Yeah, I could see
Uh,
that.
Whereas like now it's like it feels like an awkward fit for most of them. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like yeah, I don't know. Based on just like character design and fighting style, maybe Robin would be the next one. But like just based on her role in the series, it seems like I don't know. It just seems like a weird fit for her,
Yeah.
just because she never fights.
Anyway, her demon form is super cool, and I'm sure we will get an explanation for it. Um,
Yeah.
it is.
I don't know. We still haven't gotten an explanation about Zoro's demon stuff. And
Yeah,
that came out how
that
many
hasn't come out in a
chapters
while
ago?
though, so I feel like
Wait,
that
no,
might have.
didn't he say that like now the explanation is just that he was using Conqueror's hockey like the whole time? So like
I have no idea.
that it
So
was like the
Conqueror's
Conqueror.
hockey allows you to turn into a demon?
I I I have problems with it too. I'm just saying like that's what like that I think that's what it was what Kaido was saying. He was like, "Oh, like back when Luffy started doing his like Conqueror's coding, where he was like putting it into his punches and
Yeah,
hitting Kaido. I
yeah,
thought that there was some conversation about like, oh, like you because like Zoro used the what's it called? Asura, like the 6 armed or the 9 armed demon, 9 sword style, like the demon thing. Um, on like the rooftop again. It was like, whoa, it's the first time since Eni's lobby. And I'm pretty sure that like Kaido said something about Conqueror's hockey at that time. So
Okay.
I thought that the idea was that it was retcon to be Conqueror's hockey. But I also think that that is an explanation that doesn't make a lot of sense. And like obviously it didn't make any sense originally, but I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
Um,
I think it's pretty interesting to point out all of the demon and devil stuff going on in the Straw Hat crew right now. Like,
yeah,
you know, we got Robin obviously, we got Zoro obviously, we got we got Sanji who's got like the Diable Jambe, which is
that's true.
translated as like the devil's leg,
Hmm.
and I don't know if that kind of ties into the will of D, if that's the
Yeah, I can
devil,
see
like
that.
D stands for devil or what's
Yeah.
going on, but we clearly have like a demon devil type thing going against the gods in
yeah,
the Toby Ropo.
yeah.
Not Toby Ropo, but the
The Celestial Dragons,
celestial
yeah,
dragons. Yeah, yep.
yeah,
I do, I do like the. Well, actually, that's a nice parallel. The devils versus the gods. That's something I hadn't thought about that.
yeah.
If the will of the D people are destined to take down the Tobiropo, that's a nice. D stands for.
He's got himself a crew of demons right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
You could
like.
also add like Chopper Monster Point into that mix.
Yeah,
Kind
I
of
agree with
Right,
that.
devil
yeah.
goaded.
Um,
Or even Usopp with the long nose guy, that whatever the
Oh yeah,
Japanese guy,
the Tengu. Yeah.
the Tengu, yeah. That's considered like a demon in Japanese culture.
Damn, that's actually kind of big brain.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I kind of want like a spread now of all of like the demon straw hats. That would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
I did like the top comment I saw in the chapter was about how Robin is willing to turn into a devil for her crew, just like she was called the devil child for so long and she ran
Yeah,
from that for so long, but now that she's with the people that she loves and that she's with the crew, she's willing to be that devil for her crew. And it was the same with Chopper running from being a monster for so long, and as soon as he joins the crew, he's okay with being the monster as long as it's for Luffy and for the crew. It's just a
Yeah.
nice little parallel
yeah,
and super
Maybe
cool to
the
see.
demons aren't so bad.
Yeah, as long
exactly.
as you're with the crew, you'll be the devil that you need to be. Super
Yeah.
cool.
And I
Makes me
like,
like
yeah,
Robin
I
a
thought,
lot.
yeah, because last chapter I thought was like, it was a great Robin chapter. It was kind of like the first, like, I guess, reaffirmation of her, like, her arc in like Water 7 and Annie's Lobby about like, not running away from like, uh, relying on other people and like not viewing herself as like a burden and stuff. And I think this chapter is almost like moving one step past that. It's like, oh, now this is like the next step for Robin. Like
Yeah,
she's not afraid to like be viewed in like that same negative light that she was before, as long as it's like to protect the people that she cares about,
yeah,
Yeah.
and that like she knows rely on her as well. So yeah, I thought that was really good, really good. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like not the longest fight, not like the most like technically advanced fight or anything, but it was a really good like Robin fight. And it's definitely, this is like one of those fights where it's like it's more about Robin than it is about Black Maria. I mean, Black Maria is like
Right.
entertaining. She's not like the draw of the fight. It's mostly about like what this fight means for Robin, and I thought that was really good, especially
And
for
I mean that's what
characters
the
who have
other
never
Straw
really
Hats
fights.
got too.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean,
They got one chapter to do their fight.
yeah, yeah, and I think this just has a little bit more just impact because it's like Robin's first fight, like really ever. I don't really, I don't really like to count the one on Skype because that was just sort of like, I don't know, it didn't really feel like there was much going on there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
More of a defensive fight, I guess.
Yep.
So, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we get Brook doing his fight, quote unquote. It's just him slicing them once real good. And then
Hmm.
they're flustered by Robin's attack. I don't know. Like you guys were saying earlier, if this is all that Brook gets the whole thing, I'd be kind of disappointed because I do like Brook quite
Yeah,
a bit.
yeah,
So hopefully he gets something, especially with Apu. That'd be sick.
yeah.
And
Although
then
I mean, for all the Straw Hats to be a little bit underused this arc, Brooke wouldn't be the worst. I mean, I love Brooke, but Brooke was like he had like a great run in Whole Cake. Like he had like just
Yeah, he
moment
did.
after moment. So like if there is one Straw Hat that's going to get like a little bit less this arc, I wouldn't be like horribly offended if it's Brooke, just because he had such a great time last arc.
nah, nah, nah. Brook's gotta kill Kaido.
Yeah, Brooks on the rooftop next. It's gonna be it's gonna be Brooke gets there before Luffy and Momo. Uh,
Luffy gets
he's
to the
like,
rooftop only to see Brook standing over Kaido's dead body.
Yeah.
he's killed Yamato and
Brooke,
Kaido. He's like,
Brooke
oh,
beat
no one
Luffy
told me
to
he
it.
was on our side.
Oh, this was Kaido? I thought it was just another minion. I was getting carried away.
Yeah.
I do like the panel with him running up to not running up to Robin after she's used her power and easy there, Robin. That's a nice panel.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and then yeah, we get some instant explanation for. We were talking about the role that
the
Caribou
Caribou
would
would
play in
play.
this whole chapter, and we get instant explanation. I think I mentioned in the last that I feel like he's gonna be a food source, which he was.
Which he was.
Yeah, it was
And
a little I don't know, like it was
it
just like,
was
oh, last chapter we've introduced the problem. This
yeah.
chapter we have now a solution to that problem
I
that
feel
like
yeah. I feel the
we didn't
same
really
way.
have to work for or anything. It was just like, oh, I had the food the whole time.
I feel the
I don't
same
know.
way, yeah.
A little
I mean, they
weird.
did establish that he does have storage in there, but I feel it was very quickly resolved.
Yeah.
Caribou as seems like a devious character, and I know he's established that he needs Luffy to get off the island, but I feel like he would have like bargain for something maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I got food if you can make it worth my while type of thing.
I don't know.
And I mean,
At the
I guess
same
it,
time,
yeah.
I also feel like Caribou is a Luffy fan now. Like,
Yeah, I mean Luffy, or I mean Caribou, I would say is kind of like in the same he's in the same category as like Buggy
yeah,
or
yep,
where it's like
yeah,
goofy villains that are kind of just like, oh, like now we're kind of like we're just so incompetent that we're just gonna kind of like vibe with Luffy and like,
Yeah.
like he's had enough reasons to like help them and they've had
yeah.
reasons to help him, even though they originally had their differences, obviously. I kind of see Caribou as like mostly
He's
harmless.
a meme villain.
Yeah,
Um, and I feel like he's kind of like when he's first introduced, it was kind of like maybe he's scary, but even when he was first introduced, I think they said his bounty was like 300 million or something. It wasn't anything crazy. Well, he was introduced in Shabandi, right?
yeah, it
Yep.
was. Yeah, he was basically like, I mean, he had a pretty high bounty. His bounty was like as high as like uh as like the supernovas were when they got to Shabandi. Obviously, Luffy's went up after Marineford, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
pretty high
I do
bounty.
think
Got
it was a
that
pretty quick.
swamp fruit.
I do think it was pretty
Yeah,
good or pretty quick resolution, but I don't know. I feel like it depending on how big of a deal it makes going forward, which I don't think it'll be a big deal, then I'm
yeah.
not too
And
I
worried.
mean,
also,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
say
it's.
it. This is not the reason that Caribou's in this arc. Like, I think that he will be relevant later. I think that
Okay.
there's more to come for Caribou. Just
That's
because,
yeah.
yeah, this seems a little underwhelming for
Yeah.
I don't know.
why.
I'd be okay if that's all Caribou was here to do. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'd be
it's
okay with
it's
that
it's
too.
it's it's the equivalent of like the sensu bean. You know, you
I don't
you
know, but
you
then
have been you have been defeated like twice. Let me give you something that'll regain your health back to full strength.
Yeah.
I guess, but then my only thing is like, what was the point of like Caribou's whole cover arc? Was it just to explain why he was in prison with Kaido? Like, I don't
Probably.
know. I guess it's just like I don't know. I would like there to be at least a moment between like Caribou and Drake because Drake's the one who brought him to prison. Like I think
I
that would be they're
yeah.
both here. Maybe just like, they notice each other from like across the Onigashima floor or whatever, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I would just like
I do
maybe a
think
little bit
Caribou
more
is going to be
character out of that.
I think Caribou is definitely going to play into something bigger in the future. I don't know if it'll be this arc, but I feel like he's going to be some kind of important piece going into something as like an informant almost. I think an informant for
Yeah.
either the world government or even the maybe Blackbeard pirates or somebody like as a kind of a weasel character. Because
Yeah.
he's literally been hanging around Luffy for so long. He's seen and known things like Fishman Island. I think he overheard some stuff with like
Yeah.
what's her face being a weapon, didn't he?
Yes, he knows. He knows about
He knows
Shirahoshi.
about
Like I
Poseidon,
definitely
which
think
is pretty big, I feel
he's gonna
like.
tell someone that. That's for
He's
sure.
definitely going to tell somebody about Poseidon, which is a pretty big thing, and I think that'll lead us
Yeah.
into Fishman Island Arc Part 2, where we get the
Yeah.
fulfillment of the Luffy prophecy, where there's going to be a big battle in Fishman Island, where the Fishman Island is basically destroyed in the
Yeah.
battle, which
I think
I think
yeah.
that'll be pretty close to the end.
That's like gonna happen near the end. I think
Like
I would not be
Blackbeard
surprised if
Pirates
that
fight.
happened in the final battle of One Piece. Like where because
I don't know if I'd like the final battle to be in Fishman Island.
well, okay, the reason that I say that is because like the final battle, or at least the final battle against the world government, because like what's right above
Oh, you're
Fishman
right. You're right.
Island
You're right.
is
Yep.
Marie-Joie.
Yeah,
So
you're
like
right.
I can actually see like the destruction, like what I think the destruction of Fishbane Island. This is like a theory that people have floated for a while, but like I think the destruction of Fishbane Island is really going to be like the destruction of like the Marie-Joie and like the
And the red
point of the
line.
that it's
Yeah.
resting on. And then what's going to happen when like that part is destroyed is like what's on all sides of that is like literally the four seas, right? And so Fishman Island will be destroyed. Or it'll like float to the top maybe because like the red line is not over it anymore. And then also all of the seas are going to flow in because the red line is no longer stopping them. And then we're going to have all blue there too.
Oh
So like
shit. That's a good theory.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like Fishman Island will be destroyed, even though like it actually is a good thing for the fishmen because they can now go to the surface. And then also like the world government is gone, or like their power is destroyed or whatever, and then all blue as well.
All blue.
I could see that happening. I think that's a pretty safe. Like, there are a lot of dumb theories about One Piece, but I think that's one of the safer ones
Yeah.
for.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah,
That makes sense for me.
yeah. And I think that'll be like the final battle against the world government could be there. So see that, I think that'll probably be after they get One Piece though, maybe even.
Yeah, I
Um,
could see that being on the way home or something.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and then the chapter ends with Momo being a little bitch, telling Shinobu to make him an adult.
yeah. So I mean, we're going to get Chad Momo very soon.
I don't think we will.
Oh, I think we will. I think okay, like
I think so
Momo
too.
is gonna be like he's gonna be. Think about it, like what would Momo look like in 20 years? He'd
He
look like.
he's gonna be ripped. He's gonna be looking like Odin.
I really hope it's not just a. Well, okay. I said I don't think he will. I do think he will, but I don't want him to because A, I think that'd be a very cheap power up, just turning him into an adult like that. I feel like it'd be like he'll get the body of a child, but like or body of an adult, but like that's like so undeserved. And B,
Yeah, I would be. Yeah,
I feel like having Luffy call him out here and saying like, no, you can't take a shortcut for this. You have to like believe in yourself and just turn into a dragon right now. Like you can't just be a little bitch about this. You have to
oh, that
fucking
would be pretty sick.
I think
That would
Luffy
be pretty
calling him
sick.
out here because he's already called him out in the past for being a bitch. I think that'd be a good thing because like I don't know, I kind of think that because it ends on the chapter making adult, so like you're kind of led to believe that's what the next chapter's going to be. It's kind of a cliffhanger, but I think a good
Hmm.
way to subvert that in the next chapter is open the next chapter with Luffy just saying, "You're a little bitch, Momo. Own up to your family name. Be cool. Turn into a dragon and fly me up there, motherfucker."
That would actually be kind of sick if like that didn't happen.
I would
Um,
like that a lot, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
I think that he's gonna turn into an adult.
yeah, I think that he will. I think that it won't really make a lot of sense if he's all of a sudden good at fighting, because like that's not how it works. It's not just like being old makes you good at fighting. It's like
Yeah.
training makes you good at fighting. And like Momo is like, he's been swinging a sword around, but like that's cute. You're like, 8. You're not like gonna like actually be a good fighter. Um, so like, I don't know. But what I think this might just be setting up for like, um, Momo will be helping in some way. I mean, obviously to get Luffy to the rooftop, but I would not be surprised if this means that like Momo will be helping on the rooftop, like as part of the fight, because like it makes sense for like Momo to like be fighting to like reclaim his country.
Yeah.
Kaido took it from his dad, and also there's some like zodiac shit or like some like Japanese legend or something
Yeah, I know what
about,
you're talking about.
yeah, where there's literally, I think that the
It's called The
person
Legend of
in.
Momotaro.
Yeah, yeah, and like Momotaro was like being helped by like different animals or something, and one of them is a monkey,
Yeah,
and
it's
Ah,
Monkey D.
he's
Luffy.
helped by a pheasant, a monkey, and I think it's a lion or a wolf. I think it's a
Yeah,
wolf.
well,
And
so the
that's
team
supposed to be
fight is going to
Luffy.
be.
It's supposed to be
Yeah,
Luffy, or not Shinobu, Luffy, Yamato, and
Marco.
Marco.
Yeah, so I
So
hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if that was the team fight, if it was them four versus Kaido. And I wouldn't be surprised if like they fight, and then at the end, you know, Kaido has taken down all of them except for Luffy, but he's weakened because of the team fight. And then Luffy gets some final blow
The
on him.
final blow. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Um, I do hope that like Momo's, if that's how it goes, Momo's. I hope that his contribution to the fight is like in dragon form, because that would be a little bit more understandable, I guess, because it's like you're not just going to be good at sword fighting because you got older 20 years, but like I don't know, maybe dragons just like are just stronger after they get older. Like
yeah,
I
I think
we're
that
okay
would
with
make
that.
sense.
I still think it'd be a little unearned, but
I think him maybe taking a bit of a support role in the fight, like as a mobility character. So Kaido throws somebody off Onigashima, and him
I could,
going,
yeah,
going,
that'd
grabbing
be
him, putting
I'd
him
be
back,
totally
and
fine.
just flying around the fight as a support kind of uh,
Yeah,
Right.
aspect. I think that
yeah.
would be
Well,
okay.
It,
I don't.
it it is something to note that Shinobu has never done her power on a human being.
Yes.
Yeah, we've
You know,
seen it
and
on like wood
she's
and
done it
stuff.
on like fruits, and they've disintegrated into dust.
But
Like,
also she doesn't seem to have that hesitation though. All she says is
so,
you're still
so,
gonna have the mind of a child.
so we could also have the opposite thing of this, where like she does it on him, and he just turns into old man Hyo or
That'd be
something. You know.
hilarious.
Okay, that would actually be hilarious. Like if we just had like old man Momonosuke, that would be amazing.
That would be so
Yeah.
funny.
And then she's like, "Oh my God, I cannot reverse this. Like we're done."
I do
Oh, but then
think
you know who could fix it? You know who could fix it?
Bon Clay.
Bonnie. No, Bonnie, because she has the age powers.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
So actually, yeah, I don't know.
I think old Momo is going to happen for the sole reason that is the perfect setup for a joke about him trying to get next to the titties of some girl and them rejecting him because he's old now and not a cute little boy.
Or
Yes,
maybe he'll be like
absolutely.
old, and they're like, "Oh, he's just an old harmless man." Like, oh,
Oh
and
my
then he's like,
god.
and then he's just like, and then Momo's like, "I just can't stop winning." Like it doesn't matter.
Can't stop getting away with it.
I could
Can't
see
keep getting
that
away
too.
with it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that would be cool. I'm totally down.
That oh my god.
For
Now
the
I want
I
to see
hope it's a
just
joke.
old ass Momo now.
Yeah, yeah. Like sure, it'd be a little undeserved if he was like young and like Chadley and fighting Kaido, but like I'm okay with it if it's a joke. If he's old, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
right. And it would make sense with Shinobu's powers. Like she
Hmm.
doesn't really know how to use that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I'm down.
I'm down.
Pretty much anything is all right if it's a joke.
Pretty much. If it's
Yeah,
funny enough, it works.
yeah, exactly.
Or cool enough.
That's the secret to One Piece.
Rule of
Yeah.
cool. If it's cool
Yeah.
enough too. Um, actually, cool doesn't work nearly as much. Also, I'm just noticing when Brook does his orchestra move, it makes a treble clef. Very cool.
Um. Yeah. Oh
I don't
yeah.
know music. Yeah.
It does.
Very cool.
Also, I want to point out Will has never had a break yet.
I had a break when I first finished. I was in the middle of a break. I finished on a Friday, and it
That
was the
doesn't
Friday of
count.
a break. What?
That doesn't count where you're waiting week to week and you gotta wait 2 full weeks.
Yeah.
Dang. Hate to see it. Anyway,
You
there's
have
a
not
break next
had that
week.
experience yet.
Well, yeah. We'll get back to me in 2 weeks. We'll see how I'm doing. I'll be suffering. I think, yeah, so we will be back next, or I guess 2 weeks from now, that Monday,
Yep. That sounds
Yeah.
good.
and to discuss
Yeah.
chapter 1022. Anybody else have anything about this chapter they want to talk about, or
I think we ran the gambit here.
I do too.
I think we did.
All right.
I love Robin.
Robin still sucks, but
I like
it
her.
was a good
She
chapter.
was better than Chopper. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.
See ya.